Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Doom Productions podcast, a podcast hosted by Doom Productions. I'm Jordan.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Zach.
And today we are doing something that we've never done publicly before. Well, maybe a little bit. Today we will be coming up with an entire feature film, hopefully within the span of an hour, the length of this podcast. We've talked a lot before about our screenwriting process and brainstorming process. That looks different for everybody. And we've hinted a little bit at our own, but even between Ethan, Zach, and I, and other filmmakers, it varies wildly. So we thought we would demystify the screenwriting story-breaking process. So what you're about to listen to is somewhat of a writer's room of this idea for a movie, which may or may not happen. As I was telling you guys just before we start recording, I want to shoot a Halloween movie this year. Because, I think it'd be fun to do another one really quick. I wasn't planning on doing it this year necessarily, but I think it'd be fun, and I'd want to shoot it quick and fast at the end of October or the beginning of November, whichever it ends up being. So if we come up with a really good idea, we might make this thing. And so I guess if we make a Halloween movie this year for real, and you don't want spoilers, don't listen to this. But if you want to see how a story evolves from the very beginning and maybe see the finished product and compare it, go ahead, keep listening, I guess. Anything we should add to that?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
And again, just to reiterate, I'm not sure if we're actually going to make a movie, but this is what making a movie looks like.
Yeah.
I mean, this whole thing is, how to describe it? I guess they'll get how we come up with movies after this. But anyway, let's just get into it, the process, our breaking story here. So, my initial ideas for the movie, because like I've said before, in the Halloween kind of cycle, I want to hint at the next character in the previous one. Mm-hmm. Originally, it was going to be the witch character.
Yeah.
But that's a whole kind of thing. That's a thing I'm kind of precious about that movie because I have a very clear idea for that. It's a little bit grandiose and a little bit, big. So we can't shoot it next because, I want to shoot this next one quick. So it's got to be our first kind of limitation is that it has to be someone who appeared in Two Little Ghosts. If that makes sense. So, which is funny because it's you two are both part of the options in a weird way. Because the other option because I'm going to make an animated movie, hopefully within the next year. I don't think it's going to be a feature necessarily, but it'll be kind of like a 5-part episodic thing that together will be a feature. But that thing is about the pumpkin mythology. So it's like Toy Story, but with pumpkins. At the pumpkin patch. So we can't do that because it's, animated. So that really leaves you two. And I don't know if there's anyone, or we could also not include anybody, but I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on what is this, who is this movie about?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think because if we're going purely off of Ethan and I's characters, maybe my mind's just not in the right place right now, but I'm struggling to figure out how we could make a Halloween movie out of either the bully or the awkward.
I know how we make a movie about the bully.
Sorry to interrupt really quick, just because we are recording this for an audience to listen. If you aren't aware of this Halloween series we're working on, essentially we want to make 31 Halloween feature films. The first 2 are already out, October and Two Little Ghosts. The idea is that each movie will reference the next movie that is to come. Yeah. So that's what we're talking about.
29 to go. You know how we make a movie with Zach's character? It's the Pumpkin Smasher movie we tried to make a couple years ago.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a good...
Because his character, and that for the audience at home, that's a movie about a guy who goes around smashing pumpkins on people's front lawns. And the short we shot that never got released was about Jordan and another character doing a stakeout to try and catch this guy.
Yeah. Because the idea was every single night there's this pumpkin, this guy's pumpkins get smashed.
Yeah.
And that was an idea that floated around my head, but I thought, because like Zach's character is so unlikable in Two Little Ghosts.
Yeah.
The only way we could like follow him really is like if one he was like the villain, like he was like
Yeah.
a Halloween type killer, or he was like kind of like a jerk, kind of, you know, in like slasher movies, the teenagers, a lot of them are like really annoying, and so you want them to die.
Yeah.
That's the other option I kind of saw.
Yeah. The only way I could see my character.
And also, we've never done a movie with just solely Zach as a lead.
Yeah.
So
True.
I want to get that going.
Yeah.
too.
I'm more drawn to that because my character,
There's a way to do yours.
oh,
but
there is. And
The awkward coworker.
well, it's so funny because in the last podcast we talked about how he's such an enigma, and like it's either, you know, he either hates the ghost or wants to kiss him. And I think it'd be a funny movie to have it be like he's so envious about the ghost's like connection to Halloween, and he's like lost his childhood connection to it. It's about him trying to rediscover it. And it's like this very fulfilling journey. But I don't know. I'm more excited about the Pumpkin Smasher one if we or Zach's character, whatever that is.
Well,
It doesn't
should
need to be
we?
that.
I think we're all. I mean, Zach, how do you'd have to star in this thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we just
About
shove
you
something
being
on your plate.
the idea of you being a lead in a movie. Yay
I
or
mean-
nay?
I mean, it's going to be happening in December anyway, so I'm down to do it in another project as well.
Yeah. Sounds good. Okay, so this hypothetical movie is about Zach's character.
This is
from
not
Two Little Ghosts.
like a contract you're signing. at
No,
this
no.
point.
Again, like this might happen, this might not happen. Like if we come up with this and the idea is like amazing, we'll do it. So,
Yeah.
Zach, his character. I think your name's Melvin actually.
Yeah.
Melvin in the
Melvin.
script, yeah. Okay.
Such a random. I don't know why I picked that. It was just a generic.
It's like a very cartoony character name.
Well, I picked it in Two Little Ghosts because I wanted Ghost and the bully to be on a first name basis. Like this happens frequently. That's one of those easy kind of, rather than say, "Oh, geez, Melvin, you've done this so many times. Like, stop. Why do you keep doing this?" That's too much dialogue. It's too much exposition. It's cleaner just, not today, Melvin. Like that.
Yeah.
Just that tells you that there's a whole backstory there.
Yep.
So, I kind of like the idea of like Zach going around smashing pumpkins.
It's fun.
And something comes back to bite him in the butt, like about it. Like something,
Something supernatural, or do you want it to be supernatural, or do you want it to be otherwise?
I don't know. Like, okay, let's think about what we can have. If we shoot this, honestly, it probably wouldn't be October because LaDonza, and we have stuff for LaDonza to talk about tonight, just a little bit.
It'd be November.
It would have to be first week of November or second week. When
Probably
all the-
second week since I'm pretty busy in the afternoons on first week.
Which
of
is
November.
fine because
Yeah.
November is honestly the best time to shoot an October movie.
Oh,
it
yeah.
really is because
In-
the
in
colors
here.
look so much
Oh,
better.
yes.
Yeah, we hit full fall in November.
When we shot Two Little Ghosts in September, or in October, we were like, "Where's all the leaves?"
Yeah, it's pretty sparse. But once you hit November, it's like we're in it.
So it's going to be that second week of November. I would love if we could shoot this maximum of 4 days or 3 days. Like if we could shoot this over a weekend, that'd be even better.
My wife will be happy about that.
Yeah, I don't want this again. I want this to be quick and like. I mean, probably won't be. I mean, let's not even think about if it's going to be scripted or improvised. It'll probably be a mixture of both.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's got to start with whether or not how much this happens. Zach smashes a pumpkin and something goes bad. Like that's the inciting incident. Where we take him from there, I don't know. Because it could be like maybe he. Okay, now we have to think about what we have access to. But because my initial idea is like he smashes an old man's pumpkin and the old man is not happy, and the guy like goes on. He's like gonna try to kill Zach for it. He's like, "You smashed my pumpkins," and he's like really angry.
Yeah.
But we don't have any like.
We only have one.
We have one, and that's like a big.
If
It's not even a big if. It's like because he's usually down, but
if
it's
not,
like
then it's a little bit of a pain, and it defeats the purpose of the speed.
yeah. Does it have to be an old man? It could be. I mean,
What
who
if
else?
it's-
Who else
what-
can we use? I guess that's our question.
What if it's like this kind of goes more into like almost like like a 90s cartoon. But if it's like, or like, I don't know, a kid's novel, but what if it's like a little girl like enlists the help of someone to like figure out what's going on with the pumpkins, or
Yeah.
like not like a little girl even, but like if it's like your sister, one of your sisters or
Right.
something, it's like, I don't know.
I don't think Julie would do it.
That's fair.
Because
And
it seems like
Raquel's. We're going to be right off of La Danza. I don't
Yeah, no,
wanna, like-
Raquel's done.
yeah.
She's
for a
she's
bit.
put in the work, so it's like
Yeah. I'll give her a break.
enjoy the break.
Yeah. It seems like there's two ways we could take this story. Either we follow my character as kind of in the protagonist type role in the format,
Antagonist.
But yeah.
Antagonist in real life.
where it's like he's smashing pumpkins and then some external force comes in and he's kind of like getting karma for whatever he's done, and he has to somehow escape it or accept his fate in some way, shape, or form. Or we have some sort of like kind of mystery type situation where somebody's trying to figure out what's happening.
And
to
you're the
pumpkins.
reveal in it,
And I'm
yeah.
the reveal, yeah.
I feel like it'll be easier and quicker if we use Zach as the protagonist.
I think what could be a best thing then is go the supernatural route. I want to fit. You know how Sid in Toy Story at the very end, the toys are the ones that get him.
Yeah.
What
Oh,
if it's
yeah.
the pumpkins that get him?
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah. Get a Nicolas Cage moment. Not the bees.
yeah, but it's the pumpkins. Because it really is then kind of like it could be even like a mixture where the way you reveal partway through is like the pumpkins, and then you can get voice actors in this that don't require shooting time, but like he smashes a few pumpkins and leaves, and like the pumpkins across the street, like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen to us? Like there's a partway through reveal, and they're like talking about it and stuff, and all the pumpkins are like yelling down the street, Jerry, did you guys get smashed?
Did you see that?
No.
It's not a bad idea.
It's like this like a Jaws movie for the pumpkins. I don't know. It's kind of like this weird mix. We might have to
Yeah.
narrow this down a bit, but
That's not a bad idea. I think this is a random, unrelated thought. I feel like it should be set all on Halloween night, but that's also not a. That's not like if we come up with a better story,
doesn't
like because
have to
that
be.
that idea you just pitched, that's a great idea. That would even better over like the course of the month.
yeah.
Time is a benefit for that one,
Mm-hmm.
or letting the story play out over several days is good.
Yeah.
I guess thinking about again who we have access to, May would totally be down.
May would be down. Okay. If it's May, wouldn't it be really funny if it was set in the Video Carnage universe too?
Sam,
Doesn't have to be, just a
that's funny. May would do it. Bellamy would be down, but it's just a matter
with
of
heads up.
if
Lots
she's
of heads
free.
up.
Yeah. And what's great about the voice roles with May and Bellamy, because they're in Two Little Ghosts, it's like, hey, their voices are on screen, not them.
It's just two little ghosts all over again.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very our actor pool of like who would be ready to give up like 2 days or 3 days just like on a whim.
Yeah.
Ethan might be able to if it's a weekend. He'd have to be let know like a week or so before
And I
because
was-
of work.
I would say even ideally, like my ideal schedule for this is like, call me bold, but shoot on a Monday evening, kind of like instead of our meeting, shoot on like then Thursday and Friday, and then
Yeah.
we're done. Like, doesn't that
That's
sound?
not unreasonable.
That's not unreasonable. It's not undoable. We could then we'd pull the all nighter on Friday, because it's going into the weekend.
It's just like October.
I know. I miss those days.
They were fun. Well, it was fun because like we didn't have work.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
one of us didn't.
Yeah.
I actually in the room recording this podcast after October, there was a couch here originally, and we would shoot October all night. I'd come in here for work, because this was my like work office, and I'd sleep here for like through the afternoon, and then I'd go to shoot more.
It's a good plan.
And then I had my boss come in at one time and was like, are you okay? We're just shooting a movie. Anyways,
What about Marcus? Would Marcus be interested?
he could probably commit to I would only commit him to one night,
Okay.
not an all-nighter.
Right.
Like one evening, I think
Like
he'd commit
from
to.
like 5 to 8.
Yeah, a 3-hour block. We could ask him, and we could get him for if there was that flexibility of like a Monday, Friday, Saturday, or Monday, Thursday, Friday, like that. If we had the choice of one, he could pick one.
Because Marcus would be a good pairing for the old man character. Because he's not
He is an old man.
I mean,
he acts like one.
I mean, he's
If you know him personally,
yeah.
more of an old lady, but
I like the idea. The pumpkin thing is good. I like the idea of the pumpkins worrying about like, oh my gosh, are we next or blah blah.
but
blah.
it might take away from your other pumpkin movie, I think. Anyways,
Yeah.
I don't. That's not a concern. My concern is like,
because I just see it being locked down shots where the pumpkins are just talking. So
and it would be, and I that's not a concern.
because you just get people like Kyle, Dan, Nathan, Caleb to voice the different pumpkins, and that's all done separately.
That's done separately. I think
So that's not factored into the shoot time.
It's
What
more-
was the logistically, it's a pain.
in terms of we'd have to write the scripts, and it's less of Zach, and less of Zach isn't a problem, but it's like
I'm
it's
trying
like
to think of
we're
how to-
setting up tripods and cameras, just filming blank pumpkins,
Yeah,
and like that's the whole movie.
yeah.
I think we can
Well, I pictured it being a halfway point, like a turn.
right. Oh yeah,
Like a
you're
twist
right.
of,
You're
like,
right.
The pumpkins are like the first half is just Zach smashing pumpkins and weird. Maybe at some point he has like a weird
has
dream
his
about
own
the pumpkins. He has his
story,
own
yeah.
story going on, but then halfway through the pumpkin, like the twist,
I
the
wanna
halfway
incorporate
twist is the pumpkins.
I think a couple scenes of talking pumpkins would be cool. Excuse me, but
Yeah, and to the point, to the degree that we use it, I think is
Right.
flexible. It doesn't need to be as pumpkin saturated.
but
There's
I
a
do
version
want,
where it's
we
more
should,
and less.
We should put talking pumpkins into this one again.
Yeah,
There weren't talking pumpkins in the last Halloween movie.
no.
We could also so what if it could be a serial killer thing where Zach smashes a pumpkin and like
You smashed the wrong pumpkin.
right like which I guess is just the old man idea, but it's like
Yeah.
it's a masked thing.
Yeah.
Where like it's a shot, it's like a shot of the house, wide shot. Zach comes in, he smashes the pumpkin, walks away, then the door of the house opens and it's like a masked person who goes outside, like the masked figure walks over to the pumpkin, looks at the pumpkin, looks up to Zach, and Zach's kind of skipping away or whatever.
He's like smashing the neighbor's pumpkin
Yeah.
too as he goes and stuff.
And we see the hand clench into a fist and then like pull a knife out and it just starts walking towards Zach.
It's like It Follows.
Yeah, it's like It Follows. So we're not sure of the motivations necessarily. Like it's that simple in terms of the motivations.
That would be kind of interesting. Honestly, it is just a slasher movie.
It's a slasher.
You know, what if
movie.
it's
Basically
like
Michael Myers,
Lorax,
but-
but a slasher film where it's the
I
guardian of
speak
the
for the
pumpkins.
pumpkins.
I speak for the pumpkins.
So like
No.
he's so Zach would be like,
Okay.
because like it's the whole thing is like, how would we because I like the idea of the
Mm-hmm.
whole movie being Zach being pursued by this killer,
Mm-hmm.
but Zach is unaware of it, and the killer's like so
Like
slow
in the supermarket.
Right.
You know what villain? Okay, this might be me trying to bring in too many tie-ins
Uh-huh.
to Doomed. What if it's, the cultist from the
the pumpkin movie.
the pumpkin movie?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
kind of like the like it's that same mask. Do you still have that mask, right?
Yeah, I still got
I
it.
don't know. That'd just be funny because he's got like a pumpkin mask.
That's a good idea.
Like it's probably
Mm-hmm.
that it's that guy, but applied completely. Like the cult rules don't apply.
Right.
It's not the Neolethatep cultist.
Right.
He's like a pumpkin
It's something
cultist now.
else,
He's
yeah.
changed. We're just adapting it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
No, I like that idea.
But I like it just being a Michael Myers It Follows thing.
I do. I think if
It's
we're gonna go this
goofy.
route, it has to be that pumpkin mask. That's too perfect.
Yeah. It's like
Because you kind of get it. Like it's kind of funny if like he smashes a pumpkin, then a dude. But picture like Michael Myers, but yassified in pumpkin flamboyancy.
yeah.
Walks out.
He's just so mad.
So
He's got like a pumpkin spice latte in his hand.
yes.
And he just sees Zach.
Oh,
and
he
just
crunches.
And like Zach's like at the store, like doing self checkout, and then like a person walks by, and we see like it's like it's over the top, like the dun sound effect when he's in the
Right.
shot, and he's just staring at
Okay.
Zach.
I think we got so first act is like so that's the general conflict. We got that.
So
then
the
obviously
first-
it'll build towards at the very end there'll be a confrontation where Zach is like does realize, oh my god, like he gets attacked or something.
Yeah.
And then the pumpkin guy is like trying to kill, and it's just a slasher. It's like Halloween.
And he gets away. I think he gets away,
Zach should get away.
and then the day happens. He's like jarred by it, but then he keeps thinking like he sees a shadow, but it's something
Right.
else. Like it's that he could be anywhere. He's vengeance. He's in the darkness somewhere waiting for Zach.
It could also be like they have a confrontation, and Zach is gonna like. I don't know. I don't like this necessarily, but I'll say it anyway. Like we could have a moment where they're like fighting, and Zach is like, he's trying to defend himself, and he's like throwing chairs, he's throwing books, he's throwing bottles at the guy. But then he grabs a pumpkin and he throws it, and the guy catches it, and he's just like, oh, and it's like warms his heart. He's like, and then he go and
Like Baby Yoda.
it is. It's like he throws the pumpkin because that's all Zach can throw or whatever.
Yeah.
And then Zach's just frozen, caught in the corner, and the guy catches it. He kind of looks at the pumpkin, looks to Zach, and he marches towards Zach. And we're not sure what he's gonna do, but then he just pats Zach on the head, and he walks away.
Oh,
And then he comes home, and then he just puts the pumpkin where the smashed one was, and then he walks back in.
Yeah, it's kind of a really interesting resolution. I don't hate it. I think it's not what people would expect.
No,
but I
not
think
at
it's
all.
kind of, if we're gonna play this so over the top, I think an under, like a small solution like that would actually play really well.
It's kind of like
it's-
Wild Boys.
It is,
It's like totally everything's undercut by the non-serious.
yeah. Undercut. That's what I was looking for.
But that's the I mean, either like Zach's got to
Because then
live
it's
by the end
just
of it.
situational.
I think Zach should live by the end of it, and he should definitely be changed.
Yes.
Like by the end of it, you should have like, maybe, I don't know, this is really on the nose, but like maybe it cuts to you like the next day, and you walk past a pumpkin, and you don't smash it or anything. You just
No,
walk past.
he
it.
he starts putting jack-o'-lanterns around.
Right. He's replacing it.
Yeah. And he becomes like a protector of the pumpkins.
Okay, honestly, you know what the best version of this movie is that we can't do really quick? The best version is he smashes like an old man's pumpkin. The old man kind of scolds him, and he like brings him, like if you're a teenager, you'd have to be a teenager. You'd like drag you to your mom's house, and he's like, hey, you ruined my pumpkins, blah, 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 blah. He's gonna work it off with me. And so then it's like, it's kind of like Gran Torino
Yeah.
in a weird way, where he's like, Zach is doing chores for the old man, and the old man is like, what you don't understand, what you did is that every single house in the neighborhood has to have pumpkins, or else this supernatural thing will go wrong and take over the,
It's like the candy monster from Gravity Falls.
it's Candy Monster. It's also like Paranorman of like, you have to do this job.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the old man has to like die.
Yeah.
And then it's up to Zach to do the old man's job that just like in Paranorman. That's the best version of this movie. But that,
I could see us still being able to pull that off. I think
So
we
what-
just have to have another person.
it's a
that
lot to
can
shoot
commit
in a
Yeah,
few
3
days.
Yeah,
Yeah, the only version I could see is like a super stripped down where that scolding happens, but we don't go beyond it. Like you just have that old man interaction, and it's like,
And that's not to say we can't.
or maybe that's like
if we did,
we could have that not be like the main bit. Like we could have like maybe 3 or 4 scenes
We'd have
where
to-
it's like that's the intro, and then it's like
or at the end, you
Melvin
bring-
goes there like every day or something. But like in between, we can fill it in with whatever.
I think it's definitely. I want to keep that other one separate, because then if like, it's a good enough idea where I think we would just, if we ever want to do it, we would just do that for a real planet, and then that's just, it's like your kid or something in the future. Like
Well,
your
and you
kid is
could
going.
even,
True, yeah.
even set it up now, just to, even if we do set it up, to let it be even more on the nose, just have an interaction where Zach smashes the pumpkin, the old man comes out, yells at him,
Yeah.
and that's it. Like we
That's
don't
it,
touch it again. It just yells at him, and Zach just, ha ha ha, walks away.
Yeah.
But at the end of the movie, he comes back, and Zach could have that resolution where he puts the jack-o'-lantern back on the old man's porch.
Yeah.
I don't know. If we wanted to keep that,
Right.
that's probably as far as we could go with it in this one.
I think the slasher movie might be the best way to go,
It's so funny.
because
Yeah.
part of it would just be, we would just go out, film a lockdown shot, and Zach's doing his thing, and in the background the pumpkin guy's following him, and it's kind of like Where's Waldo to an extent, where it's kind of like slow, some like just watching and like, where's the pumpkin guy?
Yeah.
And we could have some fun reveals with the like you think he's behind this, but he's actually like right here or whatever. Or it's like you think he's gonna.
There's like a row of pumpkins and his head's like here, and then Zach walks by and he stands up.
Exactly. So it sounds. So what does this killer want? Does this killer want to, or this serial killer, do they want to kill Zach, or do they just want a new pumpkin? Like, what do we think?
One cannot reason with the pumpkins. What does he want? Obviously, it's revenge, but
Revenge
it's
for smashing the pumpkin.
But it's not murderous. I think in the knife, I think it should be as simple as he wants Zach to replace the pumpkin.
Right.
And so the knife isn't, we read it as, oh, he's going to kill Zach. But really, it's he wants Zach to carve a new jack-o'-lantern.
That's what it is he gets Zach at the very end. He like kidnaps him, takes him to a cellar, throws him in it. And he pulls the knife up and he's like, Zach, no, please don't kill me, don't kill me. And then he puts a pumpkin down in front of Zach and he gives him the knife and he gives him a spoon and some newspaper.
Yeah.
And he's like, he points to Zach and he points to the pumpkin.
Yeah.
And Zach's just like, you want me to make a jack-o'-lantern? And the guy just nods. And he's like, okay.
It's super simple,
And
but I think it's really good.
I think, okay, that's good. That's how the movie's gonna end.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then from there, it's
That's
just
good.
listing
I like it.
situations of where they run into each other and kind of pacing.
So what should happen to Zach between all that?
Yeah, because there has to be some sort of arc that carries.
Because otherwise,
The
it's
runtime.
it's the same thing for the whole
Yeah.
time.
Well, I think we have a beginning portion. I mean, we're taking this order. So the beginning portion, I think we can see a day of Zach disrespecting pumpkins just around the neighborhood. And he's just being generally a menace to society, teenage menace.
Trying to think. So we got
And then the next night is when the pumpkin incident
Halloween
happens
night.
with where everything goes wrong. But then from there, yeah,
so if this movie's about an hour, 50 minutes.
let's call it 50 minutes just
Let's
to give
see.
ourselves some grace. I would picture, because we're looking for pacing. Is that what we're looking for here, or like just the events?
Well, I think what should happen, because Zach, obviously, he's going to be kind of oblivious. I think at the halfway point, 25 minutes in,
yeah, he's aware.
he learns about the guy. And then that's just a slasher where he's like running.
Yeah.
Pretty much from the killer. The initial half, what should happen there?
By minute 10, I think the pumpkin should be smashed.
Minute 10, pumpkin smashed.
And up to that point where he's wandering around, I think it's as simple as, I mean, he's just doing everyday life. I mean, the details.
Well, remember, it's Halloween night, I think.
That's true.
I wonder if it would be good where it's like Zach is trying to find people to hang out with, but no one wants to hang out with him. So it's him talking to people on the phone. And he's like,
hey, you guys want to invite me to your Halloween party?
he's like, what's up, Kyle? You got a spot for me at your party? I heard you're doing something tonight. And he's like, no, you heard about? Yeah, I'll show up. I'll be an M&M or something.
So stupid. I'll be the yellow one.
And it's like this awkward thing where you kind of get that Kyle's kind of hiding stuff from him, and then
Like, no one likes Melvin.
and Melvin's just like, dude, what's the big deal? How it's like you're like, what's wrong? He's like, oh, you're not invited to this year's Halloween thing, okay, Melvin? We invite you because you make some of our friends uncomfortable. What do you mean uncomfortable? You're kind of mean. You're kind of a bully. Something like that. Something like that.
No, I'm not. I'm cool.
Yeah.
I just do what the cool kids do, like spray pumpkins. Melvin, no one does that.
we people spent a lot of hard work on those pumpkins.
Everyone is so level-headed. Melvin's just like,
Yes, you have like anger management issues, and you're like,
what's his face? Like a worse version
like
of
Muscle
Andy
Man.
from you're Muscle Man.
Yeah.
gosh.
Mordecai, why won't you invite me?
There should be a scene with your character cameoing, Ethan, where you're walking out of a store with a pumpkin, and Melvin just smashes it, and then you look at him, and Melvin's like, "Hey, what are you gonna do?" And you're just like, "That wasn't very cool, man." And you walk away.
This is just all feeding into our dream of making a regular show movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everything becomes
Okay,
regular
so
show.
Act 1, there's 2 acts. The first 10 minutes of Act 1, he's smashing pumpkins, and he's like getting prepped for Halloween. He's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get a costume. What should I be as? And he's just talking to people. He's just having a great time.
Yeah. He loves
10 minutes in, he smashes a pumpkin, and the guy sees him. And then right after that, he calls he's like, I wonder where all the parties are. I should call my bros up, and he like calls. So he has that first phone call. So it's like 10 minutes, which is really like 3 conversations, 3 different scenes, because it's about 3 minutes per scene of like, hey, can I come to your party? No, you're a jerk. Hang up. Ugh. And then it just repeats. Repeats that 3 times. Then the final 10 minutes of that first act, so minute 20 to 30, is like, you're just mad at the world pretty much. And it's like, maybe you're smashing more pumpkins. Maybe you like, we probably could get kids for like a day. Like I can talk to my cousins or my sisters or something like, hey, dress up in a costume. Zach's gonna walk by you and like and steal candy from your bag or whatever. Like something really like,
Jeez, this guy's awful.
something juvenile.
He's got to be terrible.
And you're just kind of doing your thing, and then you find yourself like alone at like a park bench, and then that's when you're approached by the end of that. And it's like, what's your problem, bro? And it's like, and then the pumpkin guy's like, it's kind of like an interaction.
He can't talk.
He can't talk. He can never talk. It's like
never talks.
It's kind of like he pushes him or something, you know. It's all physical. And then
I think it should even be before then. Like as Zach's wandering around, he starts to take notice. The pumpkin guy keeps following him. So by the time they stop, it's already, he can be escalated to like, why are you following me?
Right. And then minute 30 to 40 is like, Zach is walking away and he's being kind of pursued sort of, but it's kind of like, we don't think there's any danger yet.
It's like a loose pursuit.
And then minute 40-ish or so, Zach is like, freaks out, and he like pushes the guy, and then the guy pulls out a knife. And then he's like, oh my gosh. And then Melvin he takes off running, and then the guy chases him.
Yeah.
And then it's like a chase scene, minute 50 to an hour. That's our whole thing where he's brought into the cellar, and he's like,
I think we got to lean into the Michael Myers. It's got to be like the walking, this guy can only walk. Like the killer, the slasher, the Jack Lantern slasher, whatever he is. Like
Michael Myers,
he's Michael Myers. Where
This is
like
our
he's
parody.
always he's just like this rigid, and always walking, never chases.
Okay,
and he just appears around corners. It's supernatural.
You know, it'd be really fun is if we parody the Halloween. You guys have seen Halloween, or OG one, right?
The like 80s one?
Yeah, like 78. This doesn't spoil anything because it's the first first scene. But we should parody the opening of that movie,
Through the house.
where it's the kid puts on the costume. It's all POV.
Yeah.
The kid like goes around to the house and stabs his sister. What we should do instead is it's like Halloween night in a house, puts on the mask, goes to a pumpkin and stabs the pumpkin or
But it's
whatever.
making a Jack Lantern.
But it's it's just stabbing a jack-o'-lantern instead of the sister or whatever. And okay, that's where we get the talking pumpkins. The movie starts out with pumpkins like talking or something, and then they're like taken, and they're like, "Wait, what are you doing? Stop!" and it's a parody of Halloween, but it's with pumpkins instead of the thing or whatever.
And I think that's like our
Just
opening
to remind
scene.
us, we're gonna get back to that. Like,
So that's like the opening scene, like Video Carnage.
Right.
And then I think the next strong thing. So it's that title card, and I think the title card's broken by the first shot is a pumpkin and Zach crushes it, and he's walking on the phone outside and talking, and it's that momentum.
no, Mom, I can't drive you to your doctor's appointment.
I'm gonna go hang out with my friends. The worst.
Yeah, he's a terrible person.
Oh, I love this.
This is great.
This is a great movie.
We actually should.
What's it called? The Pumpkin Smasher?
Here comes the pumpkin smasher.
Here comes the pumpkin. I mean, yeah.
Because
Why?
we haven't used that for a feature.
No, I think we should use it. We haven't used it for
We're
a short.
We're short. Yeah.
Yeah, that short was never
Here comes
released.
the pumpkin smasher. Yeah. I think we got it.
I think we do.
That's the movie.
Because then beyond this,
I'll type up I think we'll shoot it Wild Boy style.
yeah,
Where
doesn't
each
need to
scene
be-
will have like a thing.
Yeah,
We'll shoot this 2-camera style
yeah.
just for coverage. We can see if we can get other people there to be the person. If not,
But it doesn't
can just-
matter who.
It can just be you or whoever.
I'm down to be it. If I'll check in and make sure that I have the availability, but I'll be it. At
Yeah.
the very, I mean, obviously I'll be the me. From
Yeah.
Two Little Ghosts.
Yeah. No, this will be good. Yeah. 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 So we'll
Awesome.
we'll each scene will just have kind of like, it'll have the location and what happens, but it'll be kind of improvised. I think, except for a couple lines, maybe. Like if we want to script out specific interactions, we'll do that.
Yeah.
Like when he's brought into the basement, obviously, I think that should probably be scripted.
Yeah, those big scenes. But the
Where
things
it's
in
kind
the
of visually
middle,
told, but
Yeah.
like scenes where it's just kind of like he's talking on the phone, the thing's falling. Maybe it's just, it doesn't have to. We don't have to write out every kind of little thing.
no, yeah,
We'll just lav Zach up.
just lather them up. Oh, is that not what we're saying?
I think
Yeah,
I'm wondering.
and it's nice we only
For
need
the
one mic.
We just need one mic. What we
So
can
easy.
do is we can have when Zach's calling people on the phone, one of us can be at the other end and like actually talking.
But then we get a person to dub our line.
Then we'll just dub it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's easy. This movie's gonna be really cool.
Should we do this? I feel like we
I'm
should.
down. Yeah,
It's not gonna be a hard movie.
I don't think so.
it's pretty simple and
We'll
straightforward.
look at the scriptment.
think-
Once the scriptment's typed up.
Yeah,
I think again, like Wild Boys, where it's like under 50 scenes.
And that was a lot for Wild
That was
Boys.
a lot, and those were longer scenes. So some of these scenes I feel like might be a little quicker.
Yeah.
yeah.
Or at least the shots will be more played
I
out.
just love. No, Mom, I'm not going to drive you to your doctor's appointment. I got plans with my people.
I gotta hang out with my bros.
Why do you always bring up my birth? I didn't ask to be birthed. Just like you're not asked to have cancer.
Jeez.
Wait, that might be too much, but like,
Oh my gosh.
It's like I don't care. You have hernia surgery.
yeah, we have, okay. That's gonna be the struggle. It's like
If you
straddling
wanted
that
help,
line.
you should have had more kids.
It's like writing that line of like, he's got to be funny, jerk.
Yeah. He's not an actually like realistic horrible. He's a
No,
cartoon. he's a
cartoony
caricature.
character.
Yeah. So then yeah. I like
Yeah.
this movie.
I think so.
That was pretty quick.
Yeah.
That was like 35 minutes to make that.
Yeah. Anything else about it we should go over?
I mean, we can figure out the logistics of costuming and all that.
I mean,
We've got
once the
mask,
script-
we'll
yeah.
we'll figure it out once we have a scriptment out.
It's a pretty doable like 3-person shoot. I think what we'll
yeah.
do. I think we should shoot it like a Monday,
Monday,
Thursday, Friday, something like that.
Friday and Saturday, yeah.
Where it's like we shoot for a couple hours on Monday night, a couple hours on Thursday, then as long as we need to on Friday, but just try to get it done as quick as we can.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, and then the end of the movie will be just like he's learned, he's changed.
Yeah.
He's not a jerk anymore. It's like he calls his, hey Mom, do you still need a ride to the dentist to the doctor's appointment? No, I don't need a ride.
That was 3 days ago. I love you, Mom.
I love you too.
It's so sad. Oh, I feel bad for this guy.
Okay, maybe he can't be that. mean
No,
to his
it's just got to
mom.
be the putting the pumpkin away, and he walks off, and he and you could he like puts the one pumpkin down, and then he got like a wagon full of pumpkins, and he's bringing them around,
yeah.
and it's just let that shot linger, roll credits over it,
Yeah,
fade to black.
get some nice folk kind of music.
Yeah,
Some like
let
over
it
the
let it
garden
end
wall kind of
wholesome.
stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. One of these days we'll do a Halloween movie that's like actually scary and actually like kind of more adult, but
For
not
now,
this one.
this is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if we're going for a rating, this is like PG-13 at most because of the threat of murder.
Yeah, but really, it's pretty PG.
I mean,
Yeah.
SpongeBob has done gags where it's like, "Oh my gosh, we're gonna be killed," or I mean, they don't
Yeah.
say killed. Though, what was the
We're all gonna die. They'll say
hash
that.
slinging
Yeah.
slasher episode or whatever? Where
Like
they
it's
think,
set in G movies.
yeah. So we should be fine.
No, we'll be fine. This is a live action cartoon, basically. Like regular show would do this, and no one would bat an eye.
Okay, aspect ratio.
4:3.
Oh yes.
4:3 in circle. Because I'm always gonna vouch for 4:3.
Well, I that's what my standard. But what if it's 239? Because it's like Halloween. Halloween's widescreen.
It's true. But I love how
Makes it feel. I mean, I think. Listen, I'll put this on record. I think the aspect ratio of Fall is 4:3.
It
I
is, and
totally
that's-
agree with you.
I think
And
the
that's-
mood of this movie though fits what 239
What? Okay, this would be a
as
weird
opposed
choice.
to
What if
4:3 kind of seems a little bit more moody.
What if it starts out 239? It's widescreen for most of it, but by the end, once he's good, it goes to 4:3.
4:3. I agree because I love the look at the last shot in 4:3.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm trying to think because it's that thing of like if it's widescreen, do you go out and in or do you just go in? I know for you viewers listening at home,
Yeah, I know
or
exactly what
listeners,
you mean. Yeah.
I mean, do you do 4:3 within 239 to 1 or do you do 239 and 4:3 within 16:9?
I'd say do it within 16:9.
Yeah.
I like the
We'll
idea
see.
of the full screened
Right.
4:3 at the end, not cropping it.
Right.
Because otherwise, then it'll just feel small.
So the whole Halloween. Okay. Yeah. No. Okay. I'm just
What?
making compromises in my head because I love all the fall shots in my head. I'm like, yeah, 4:3. But now I'm like, okay, no, widescreen it. It's fine.
Why? Yeah. Widescreen. I mean,
I love the shot. See, this is my problem. I already have like this movie shot in my head. The shot where we first see him smash the pumpkin after the title card.
right.
It looks so good in 4:3.
I mean, who's to say that can't be in 4:3 and then it goes to 16:9? The following shot is 16 or not is 239.
Yeah.
Listen.
Or it could even come out. I don't know. We could play. We'll play
There's
with
ways
it.
we can
We'll,
play
we'll
it.
just shoot it and we'll feel it out in the edit.
Yeah.
We'll just shoot it as best we
figure it
can.
out.
I'm not
Yeah.
gonna worry about it. We're getting too much in the weeds here.
Yeah.
Anyways, do we want to end the segment here?
Yeah, I think. Well, I guess getting more meta and referencing that. I mean, it took us like 35 minutes to outline a whole feature film. It sounds like we're going to try to do it. I mean, I'm going to at least write up the script and see how doable it is.
Yeah. We'll just feel it out.
And based on schedules and everything in second week of November, we'll just do it. You know, it's that simple. I think. Well, maybe it wasn't simple. I don't know.
It's
to me,
nice
that's
because
pretty
we
simple.
have, yeah, that's pretty simple, but it's nice because this is what a group writing session looks like. Writing on your own looks different.
Right.
And it's nice to have alternate ideas. Like, I think at least 2 people is really nice. 3 makes it very effective.
It's a lot more of that writer's room approach where you get to keep all of the great ideas of 3 people, but then
Mm-hmm.
discard, you just don't use the ideas that don't connect.
And if you're, I'm just going to use this moment as a plug. If you're someone who wants to write movies or come up with your own movie ideas and you're struggling to have like, maybe you're just struggling with ideas in general, or you want someone to bounce ideas off of, there is a great resource online. If you go to Discord and find the Folk Filmmaking Discord, there's regularly open chats on there. And I think that's a really great spot to find other filmmakers. And if you meet some people that you jive with, they might be the people that can help you out bouncing ideas off. That's a place where we frequent sometimes. Also, there's Twitter Spaces, stuff like that with some of the folk filmmakers. Yeah,
I
I don't
thought
know.
you were going to plug our Patreon for a second.
If you want someone to bounce ideas off of, give us money, and then we'll maybe consider
Yeah.
you. No, that's just some place I think that if you're someone who's like, but I don't have people, there are ways. I mean, obviously, what makes this work so well is we know each other. I mean, heck, we're wearing matching T-shirts right now.
We
for
know
Game
each other,
Productions,
but we've also been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
And we've had lots of, I mean, I don't know how many scripts. I've written a lot of scripts.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't written as many scripts. However,
Mm-hmm.
we've been, and I mean you meaning Ethan, we've been in story sessions just like this for years and years and years.
we've been
where
doing
where
this
we're
since
breaking
2000.
stories.
I mean, it's probably 2013.
Yeah.
So we're coming on a decade here.
Where we're sitting down and we're breaking story together.
Yeah.
Which is just as like an important part of the process as, the other, just writing and everything. So with all 3 of us, we have a lot of like, and Zach too. Like,
Zach's a film student. He's got it, and he's written feature and yeah.
Well, we've done this with Zach too a bunch of times in the last 2 years or however long. So it's like this process. I think that's a good way of to start breaking. I mean, writing is just break the story. And when I mean break story, I mean like come up with it, the direction, the feel, moments, key moments. And I think if you're stuck doing that, just ask yourself. My buddy Andrew, he's got this thing that he says is storytelling is asking yourself why over and over again until you have a movie. So like there's a guy who smashes pumpkins. Why? Because he's a jerk. And because he's a jerk, he's got to learn not to be a jerk by the end. Why? Well, because he smashes the wrong person's pumpkin house. Why? Because that person is kind of like a serial killer who's obsessed with pumpkins. Why? And you know, you just you ask yourself all these questions, just why a whole bunch, and you're gonna have your movie by the end of it. Anything else to add there?
Beautifully said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just playing. Like
Yeah.
if you don't do it, you don't get better.
Yeah.
And there's no risk in trying it and working on it.
It very
It's-
much is, in a very artistic way, a science. It's you keep asking questions and seeking logical resolutions to those questions.
And there's no
Or
right,
illogical.
Or illogical, yeah.
there's no right or wrong way to do it. It's kind of like every story has its own rhythm and pace, and it begs to be told in different ways.
Yeah. And it's all, at the end of the day, like you get to decide how your stories play out. So
Right.
do it until you're happy with it.
Yeah.
And that's when you know you found it.
Right.
If you're not happy with it, you haven't found it yet. And that's
Right.
okay.
Yeah. And with that, I think we'll move on to our next segment, which is what are you working on?
Yeah. Zach, what are you working on? Oh, sorry. I caught you mid yawn.
Sorry.
Aside from this movie we've just broke,
Yeah.
or
Well, Coalescence is still on hold. I'm trying to figure out a couple of things. I might be filming in a couple of weekends with a couple of my actors. We'll see. I have to check my schedule to figure that out for sure, though. But yeah, just more logistics on that one.
right?
And then I've been working on 2 outlines for a short and a feature that we will not announce.
3,
3. Oh, right.
as of right now.
Oh, as of right now with this one, yes. 3 as of right now. So 2 features and a short. But you will hear more about those hopefully in the coming months.
Yeah.
Or
What if we shot our movie on VHS?
We tried that with the last one.
I know, but what if we did it again? I don't know. I'm getting ahead of myself. Sorry, I had a random thought.
I like where you're going before we get too
Anyways.
far into it. Yes.
What are you working on, Ethan?
Other than just making a Halloween movie on the whim, you know, no big deal. Getting ready to start working on Blender. This is on a movie
Nice.
thing, but
Yes.
it's I finally have my workstation at my new house
Nice.
set up. Not my new house. It's a house I'm renting with a bunch of friends and my wife. It's not new. I've actually been here for a while. This is new to me. But I moved my desk out of my upstairs room and it's now downstairs. So now it's all like it's set, which feels great. Because up to this point it was always temporary. So, but all that to say, I'm like in a spot where it's like, okay, I feel like I can work on things finally.
Yeah.
The stress of wedding planning and wedding execution is over.
And the bell rings.
The bell rings is done, and now I can kind of enjoy it for what it is and work on more behind the scenes stuff.
Right.
I feel so bad because I totally rushed my last making of video, and now I'm like, I want to make a new one. So
Nothing's stopping you.
Nothing's
Yeah.
stopping me. That's why I love YouTube. It's great. Yeah, and then slowly getting ready to start outlining my next feature,
Yes.
and that'll be going through the winter. So
Nice.
we'll just see where it goes.
Cool.
Either I'll like this one enough that I'll make it, or I'll make a script, just one draft, and if I don't like it, I will move on to a different idea.
Yeah.
So just stay tuned.
Yeah. I've been working on La Danza. We shot last night.
We did.
We have 2 more days of shooting left. It'll be done by. It will be shot by Halloween. It'll be shot by the end of the month, but it won't be finished for a bit more. So that's exciting. I too have been writing a whole bunch. There's a horror movie that I'm working on. I don't know if it's the next thing we're gonna do or that I'm gonna want to. After the Halloween movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the next thing or what, but it's something that I've been wanting to do. And today I had I don't know if this happens to you guys. I was listening to a song and I was like, oh, I have like and it like the idea for an entire movie just came to me.
Yes, I
And
know
I was like,
exactly what you mean.
I have a moment right here, and I can see the whole movie right now.
Nice.
But now it's a thing of like, oh my gosh, I have this idea for this movie, but I can't work on that until this horror movie's written.
Yeah.
So
Totally.
I got the next two screenwriting projects pretty much, there waiting to be written. So,
That's exciting.
or one of them's waiting to be written, the other one I'm working on. But yeah, that's what I've been working on. And now let's just go to our next segment. What are you watching?
So I know last week I said there are a bunch of movies I couldn't remember
Uh-huh.
that I watched over like my honeymoon.
Right.
I remember some of them. So
Okay.
one of them I rewatched American Psycho,
Nice.
which was really cool. I hadn't watched that in a couple of years. So it was fun to go back and rewatch that one. And
Yeah.
it was still really good. I was like really curious to see what Sarah would think of it.
Yeah.
She totally liked it. She was all about it.
It's a good one.
And I forgot the others. But
Well, you remembered one.
I've been watching Rings of Power.
Yeah.
Oh, and Hubie Halloween.
Yeah.
That was when I watched Hubie Halloween, which was really good.
It's a good
That came
Halloween.
Great Halloween movie. If you
that
haven't watched
2020?
it, yeah.
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, it was 2020. If you haven't seen it, highly recommended.
It's really dumb,
If-
but it's
it's-
like
if
funny
you're
dumb.
into that,
Yeah.
It's very Adam Sandler.
Yeah. Yeah.
if you just want a good time and you're into the Adam Sandler comedy, totally recommend it. If you don't like that, don't watch it.
It's not
Yeah,
going to sell you, yeah.
You're not
Yeah.
going to be into it, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But it was very fun.
Yeah. It's
It's just
funny
good to
one.
see those
yeah.
actors all together, and it was just very self-aware and
Yeah.
Yeah.
goofy, and I liked it. It was
Yeah.
a great, and for me, I watched it right before October, so it was a great like start to watching, October movies.
Right.
So yeah,
Nice. Zach, what have you been watching?
1 second. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
It's a very
For all
tired
those
episode.
who yawned. When I yawned, I apologize. I finished Rings of Power since the last episode came out last week. And then more of Andor. I keep forgetting to mention Andor
Oh, yeah.
in the podcast.
I haven't watched it yet. I haven't started it.
I think it was
It's-
episode 6. The
Yeah.
visuals in that were just like, whoa.
Oh
The-
yeah.
I've seen stills of it and it looks incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's stunning. I'd say it's probably one of my favorite Star Wars Disney Plus shows visually
Right.
in that regard, which is interesting because it's the first one they haven't used the volume on.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all real world locations.
Yeah.
They actually
No,
went
it's-
to
it's-
Coruscant for this.
Nice. How do you get there?
Oh, you
No,
gotta
they-
have the
they did
Disney
a
money to get
ton
there.
of stuff
You
in
got to
like
go on
England
the
and
Disney Star
Scotland.
Cruiser tours or whatever. Yeah. $5,000 for a night.
Right.
Yeah, it makes me want to shoot a movie in Scotland
Or in space.
or in space.
Yeah.
And then what else? She-Hulk finished. That was
Oh,
interesting.
yeah.
Um,
I like She-Hulk.
I still need to
So
watch
does Matt Murdock.
Werewolf. I still need to watch Werewolf by Night.
I haven't seen that
I'm
yet
really
either.
excited to watch that one though. Oh, and then I watched the first 2 Pirates of the Caribbean movies again.
Yeah.
Since I hadn't seen them in a while. Those slap, and nobody talks about it anymore.
Those Pirates of the
Those
Caribbean
that
cheeks,
first
man.
trilogy is so
popping.
good.
Davy Jones.
Yeah.
I love that character.
It's perfect.
Well, and the animation holds up to today.
It looks
really.
better than a lot of
Yeah,
stuff
it
that's
does,
made today.
honestly. And say what you will about At World's End, but that is, and this is a high claim,
I
but
love
I will
World's
say
World's End is so
the third act of that movie is perfect, and I do not use perfect lightly in this sense.
I'll say even
If
further,
you need a
the whole
lesson
movie
on
is
how to
perfect.
end a trilogy, it is insanely good.
I
All of them are
love
good.
those. I like all of them, but those first 3 in particular.
Oh, yeah.
I really.
I
love
haven't
them.
seen the last one. Like
I
the
only
fifth
saw that
movie.
one once. I need to rewatch it. At
I
some
don't
point.
remember it as much. I saw
Yeah.
it once in theaters, and I saw it once on home video, and I can't even remember.
Yeah.
But it's been a while.
Yeah, I need to
But
see it.
I remember enjoying it.
I'm sure I'll like it at least superficially, even if it's not like the best movie ever made.
Right.
Yeah.
The trilogy itself,
It's-
I'm just happy with. So
Yeah.
doesn't
It's
matter.
fun. It feels a little different than the other ones, though, and that might be in part due to the behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's fair. I can live with it.
Yeah.
yeah,
I watched a bunch. Watched a lot of the shows Zach watched. I watched a lot of horror movies. So Dagon's an old movie. Rewatched Psycho. There's this band, or not band. There was this forgotten Nickelodeon movie that they aired once and then never again. And
What's it called?
it's called Crybaby Lane. It's all on YouTube because they eventually they realize like, oh, people remember this movie and they like it, and they aired it again like a couple times in like 2015 or something. But it's like people think it's like banned, but it wasn't banned. It was just kind of forgotten about.
Okay.
And so I watched. It's got Frank Langella in it, so it's like
Huh.
I don't know. It's pretty. It was a pretty fun like Goosebumps kind of movie. Crybaby Lane, that was one. I watched Lux Eterna finally, which is that Gaspar Noé movie that just looks I mean, we talked about it with Allison when we had her on talking about Gaspar Noé, but it was pretty good. I really liked it. But then I saw Halloween Ends, which has been very divisive on the internet.
Exciting. I like that.
The more I think about it, the more I like it. And it makes me want to rewatch the David Gordon Green trilogy because it really made me think of like, oh, that's what he was doing with these three movies. And there's something that I thought there's choices that are made in this one that are really bold and very different that I think the reason that I like them, there are definitely reasons why someone would hate the movie. Kind of like think of like the Luke Skywalker and Last Jedi kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like some people hate that, but some people love it.
Like
and
it's what makes or breaks the movie for a lot of people. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty core aspect of Halloween, but like the Halloween Ends movie. So I need you guys to watch. Well, the trilogy. Right?
Well, I need to get caught up.
Yeah, I haven't seen the last one either. I got lazy.
Well, now
it's on
all
HBO
end.
Max,
It's all like complete. So I would say watch Halloween '78. Watch the Halloween in
new-
2018.
Yeah.
So that's
And then
Halloween,
20.
and then Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends.
Yeah.
So watch those four. It's a good like Halloween watch.
No,
too.
that's yeah.
I've only seen the first one.
Especially as research
I
for
need
our
to
movie
see
that
the
we're making.
Yeah, no, now's a perfect time. And Halloween Ends is streaming on Peacock.
Oh, really?
Is it
Yeah.
really? Okay.
They did the whole. I mean, I always wanted to see movies in theaters, but like if that makes it easier, just sign up for a free trial at Peacock, watch Halloween Ends, and then then just dip after that.
That's fair.
But yeah, it was pretty. I really enjoyed Halloween Ends. Thought it was pretty fun.
Right on.
Anyways, I think we've been talking enough for tonight. I think it's been about an hour roughly.
Yeah.
So
And we made a movie.
yeah,
We outlined a movie.
I guess stay tuned in the next few episodes. I think we'll update you all if we're going forward with this movie for sure. But it sounds like we are
Tentatively, yeah.
Yeah.
Tentatively, yeah. We're gonna shoot a Halloween. Here's the catch, though.
It doesn't come out for a year.
It doesn't come out for
Yeah.
a year. That's the thing. So you guys got to be a little patient. But
Unless you're maybe on Patreon.
unless you're on
Or-
Patreon, yeah, there will be a Patreon exclusive.
So right now, Charlie will get to watch it.
Yeah.
Nice.
And anyone else who signs up. And shout out to Charlie. Thank you for becoming our first patron. If you don't know Charlie, she's a fan of ours. She's on Twitter. I think she's, and we've talked about this to the RC boys a little bit. I know we're supposed to wrap, but gotta say, Charlie might be one of my favorite audience members
Yeah.
ever, which is weird to say. And I say that because she never approaches any project with like preconceived notions or prejudice against like it. She always treats the text at like just engages with it equally.
Yeah.
Like she'll look at Grown Ups 2 the same way she'll look at like Citizen Kane.
Yeah.
And I love that. And I wish more audience members and critics could look at a piece of media and just
It is what it is.
Yeah,
Well,
it's a
engage with
very
it.
mature and educated way of approaching.
If only film
Film,
schools
and-
taught you how to do that.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
exactly.
Because a lot of times, you know, you get stuck in like a circle jerk or just like hating, bashing a movie. And it's like, you know, everybody who, I mean, these people are so quick. I'm looking at this Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the Amazing Spider-Man 2, everybody like, oh, it's trash because of this, or that, blah, blah, blah. But they don't give any reasons. They don't engage with it on an
For what
intellectual
it
level.
is, yeah.
And I'm not saying that's even like saying it's the most intellectual movie ever or you're dumb if you don't understand it. But it's, I think
There are good things and bad things in every single film.
there's not, yeah.
And entirely, or not, I wouldn't say entirely, but I would say a large portion of that is your opinion when it comes
Yeah.
to approaching movies.
And I would say that in that case, like when you're engaging with the movie, it's all objective, but it's also like there's things that the text will say to you. Like there's choices that are made within the movie that you can observe and ask questions and say,
Yeah.
why did they do that? What does that mean? Rather than they did this, so it means this.
Yeah.
And I think Charlie has that. She's got that I don't know. I love hearing her thoughts on movies. So
The third eye of filmmaking.
right, we're a big fan of hers. Go follow her on Twitter, Charlie Rogers. I think that's the Twitter handle.
I don't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah,
But yeah, Charlie Rogers. If you go on our page and look up our followers, you'll find her.
yeah. Great filmmaker in her own right too. She's got some great experimental stuff, which I love. But anyways, that's. Thank you for listening, everyone. Thank you, Charlie, for being there for us always. And
If you want to find any more information about anything we talk about or want to just follow us, there's links down below to all of that. If you want to also listen to our podcast on Spotify instead of YouTube, there's a link down below. Or if you're listening on Spotify, there's a link that you can click on to go to our YouTube channel. Right. So hopefully you can find your way around. The internet's not too big of a place, so you can find us if you just search around.
right. Thank you for listening, everyone, and we will see you next week.